we get to shop and talk about my favorite device that got me started with Lifepro. I think it's been now like 3 years ago, and it is our vibration platforms. We are pushing an end of year special buy, so we're giving 15% off the lowest price on all of, or I should say 15% off is the price you're going to see in the shopping cart. So when you go onto the Lifepro website, you're going to be able to see all these different platforms that are available out here. And I'm going to go through, this is going to be a long video. So you can come and go as you need to, but I want you to be able to ask questions, and I want you to be able to see the differences between so many of these different platforms. We have all the Rumblex platforms except for the Relax-A-Vibe. The Relax-A-Vibe is not part of this special from what I was reading earlier. But I've got all the Waivers, I've got the Turbo, I've got the Rhythm, which is behind me. It has the arm rails, which we don't show that one very often because we've had so many others that have been launched since then. So we've got all these different devices, and I know you're going to have so many different questions as to how you can use them at home for the greater good, whether it's for pain relief, whether it's for lymphedema, whether it's for weight loss. I've lost over 50 pounds in the last year and a half putting together a fitness routine using these many different platforms as I've been testing them with myself and with my clients. And so we have all different kinds of options here, and you can pick my brain as to how each one of these devices works, and you can hear them because they are, we're going to be able to plug them in and show you all the different settings. And so that's what's going to be exciting for today. So again, this one's going to be quite a bit longer, might go up to 2 hours, so that you can see each one of these in action, and you can ask questions. And if you already have one at home and you're wanting to buy them for family and friends for the holidays, right now is the best time to buy. Usually, yes, it is, Kelly. It is a full floor vibration platforms, and this isn't even all of them. These are just the ones that are on special today. I've got another 10 or 15 of them stacked in different places because we truly do use all of these with my clients. And as you all know, the Rumblex series is my absolute favorite because it has more motors. Have a little itch going on here. It has the most motors, and it has the greatest amount of intensity for transformation to take place and for your body to be able to restructure and detox and heal from what we get ourselves into in the stagnant state of mind and body. And so what I love about the vibration platforms is you can use them on a very, very low setting, or you can use them on a elevated setting. And so if you are just new to Lifepro, if you're new to how I got involved with Lifepro, I want to make sure and share with you kind of what our vibration platforms are all about, because a lot of people see them and they think, oh, it's just a cellulite blaster. Yes, it does blast cellulite. Yes, it does decrease cellulite. And yes, it does make a difference as to body composition and contouring. It also helps with recovery of injury. It also helps with lymphedema. It also helps with fat loss. It helps with de-stressing and promoting good hormone release. So many different great benefits. In fact, I have a document that I can send to Lifepro to upload to all of you online as to the top 10 benefits of the whole body vibration platform. So as you are all joining in from YouTube, from Facebook, and from Instagram, give me an idea of if you already have a platform and you're looking to upgrade, or if you are happy with the one you've already got and you just need a different approach with the programming. Just give me an idea of kind of what you've already got at home and what you're looking to buy, or for who you're looking to buy. And I'll be happy to give you some guidance as to how you can best utilize and take advantage of this special so that you can utilize these in different locations. For me personally, I have several of them here behind me in my gym and my wellness facility. And then I have a couple of them at home so that my family doesn't have to come in here and use the facility in order to use the platforms. They can use it any time of day, whether they're watching TV or they're just getting out of their bath and getting ready to go to bed at night. So we have them both different locations. And so maybe you are somebody who already is enjoying the great benefits of the platforms and you're wanting to use them at the office in order to minimize fatigue, or you're wanting to maximize circulation into the extremities. By having multiple platforms in different locations, you have the ability to be able to maximize your health benefits in different locations depending on how much space you have. So if you vacation and you're wanting to take one to keep in your summer home or in your travel trailer, you have the potential to do all that with the convenience of, you know, buying them at a discounted price. Now, give me 1 second here as I continue to, there we go. I don't want the battery to go dead on my device so that I can stay with you for a good couple hours. All right, so we have the Waiver. Do you know the Waiver, believe this or not, if you go to the Lifepro Fitness website, and my team that's backstage that is observing all this and helping me out, if you can post a link to this website, especially the link to In the News. If you go to In the News link on our Facebook page, you're going to see that we have been featured in Forbes. We've been featured Pop Sugar. We've been featured in all these different magazines about being the best platform company that's out there. And our #1 seller is the Waiver, okay? The #1 seller for Lifepro in the history of vibration platforms is the Waiver because it's small, it's affordable, and you can take it to and it's a gentle entry-level device. Now, what I want to caution you about, though, is the Waiver has only one motor. And so with one motor, you're only getting stimulation on one plane of motion. Whereas with the Rumblex series, as all of you know is my favorite, it has 3 motors, so it's providing 4-dimensional vibration stimulation to your body, which means that your body is going to restructure from 4 different dimensions of access of vibration. When you're in contact with the vibration platform, I know you're all wondering, like, how does this work? When you're in contact with the vibration platform, whether through your feet, through your hands, through your booty, however you're laying on it or standing on it, it just all depends on how you're utilizing it. When you are using your vibration platform, our body naturally responds to vibration energy. And that energy typically comes from the ground. And we start absorbing that energy from infancy. But as we stress and as we restructure and as we compensate and as we continue to live, or maybe not move as much, our body doesn't get that enrichment in the same way that we used to when we were much younger. And so when that happens, our body forgets how to do certain things. We forget how to balance right. We forget how to squat, how to hinge, how to lunge. And then we start compensating all these different patterns because we develop these overuse pain syndromes. And then our body kind of starts to fuse together in ways that it's supposed to in order to protect us using the fascial connective tissue system. And so what is really important is when we are on the platform, when we are grounded on the platform, and I like to go barefoot, so you're going to find me doing all these demonstrations, I'm going to be barefoot. When you're barefoot on the platform, the generation of vibration energy that is stimulating the bottom of your feet, where 80% of your neuroreceptors that communicate with your brain about how you are in space on Earth, those are only on the bottom of your feet. So if you are absorbing that energy of the vibration through the bottom of your feet, it stimulates up to 90% of your muscle fibers to lengthen and shorten anywhere from 10 to 50 times per second without you cognitively doing it. It's a subconscious, involuntary response. And so we are doing this quick twitch vibrational energy throughout our whole body, which creates this domino effect of how our body is shifting and adjusting. And in doing that, I like to consider that it is kind of a gentle storm and that we are creating a controlled earthquake effect. That controlled earthquake effect is what breaks apart dysfunctional bonds in our body that make us hurt and create pressure on our pain receptors. And so just by being on the vibration platform for anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, or maybe some of you are doing an hour a day, just by being on the platform, it truly is a magical device in that it releases tension, it mobilizes cellular energy, it gets into the nucleus and the mitochondria of your cells, which means it's creating a systemic change on what we would call a global level, fingertips head to toes, as opposed to, let me see if I can fix my shoulder, or let me see if I can fix my hip. While we're trying to access the vibration platform using our body, trying to stabilize hips or trying to release hips or trying to do whatever it is we're trying to do, we are getting a global effect of our entire body all at the same time, not even realizing it, which makes us feel different. And so after you get off the platform, you might go for a little stroll around your house down the hallway and you feel a lot lighter, or you feel more free to move, or you feel like you're floating. And that's what the vibration platform does, is it minimizes tension by allowing our tension channels to shift in the form of our fascial lines. So, and every single cellular structure, so all of our muscles, our tendons, our bones, our ligaments, our skin, our fat, every single structure in the human body is connected to the other structures in the human body via fascial connective tissue, which is made up of elastin and collagen. When we stimulate, it is very, very excited to have vibrational energy. When we stimulate that, it's like giving a child a new toy or new candy. It becomes excited. And when that happens, the pain dissipates and the pressure on those pain receptors dissipates. And it allows us to being able to work on being a different version of ourselves, a better version of ourselves, which would include detox. So when we start to itch when we're on the platform, or if we start to get a headache, or if we wake up the next day and we're just a little bit sore, that is a good thing. That means your body is restructuring. That means it's changing. And if we continue on the way that we are before we get on the platform and we don't structurally change our system and we don't feel good, we're just going to get worse. So it truly is a magic machine. And that's why I love them. That's why I have them all around me. So let's go ahead and get started. I just want to make sure you understand what the vibration platform does and why it's important. I'm going to start from the bottom up. I'm going to start with all the single motor units, work on up to the turbo, on up to the Rumblex series, and then I'll answer questions at the end. But you can go ahead and post any pictures. You can post any questions that you might have as to how I can answer, with the responses to the unit that I'm using in the moment. So here we go. So give me 1 second. So first things first, you're going to see, and I'm going to move the camera much, much closer to so that you can see all this. You're going to see this unit right here that has arm rails, and it is called the Rhythm, and it is a very loud unit. So I'm going to take you to it, and you can see how my body jiggles on this, because I'm telling you, if you want the one that like shakes you up the most with just one motor, that is this one. And this is one of the first units that Lifepro ever released. And it's been several years ago. I want to say it's been about 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I've lost track of time with working with them because it's been such an awesome journey. Okay. And so I'm going to bring the camera around so you can see this, but I want you to see how my body responds to this and how it all goes down. Again, this just has one motor. So as I get up here, and I'll actually turn it to the side, you can get a good visual here. We have 3 preset programs on here. And so there's a program button up here. And again, I'm going to bring this over here. The hard part about using these cameras is you really have a hard time navigating exactly what you see. So bear with me as we continue to work this out together. There we go. Okay. So as you can see here, we have our Rhythm. Trying to adjust. I have to think everything backwards. Okay, so we have our program select button. And if we push start and stop, like right now I'm on P2 program, it's a very, very loud unit. Okay, very, very loud unit. And as you can see down here, how it's moving. Okay, it's just a pulsation oscillation situation, but it's very, very loud. And I take that back. It doesn't have strictly the pulsation. As you can see, it's getting a little bit of an oscillation movement, but it's a very, very intense movement, okay? So I'm going to let you observe more junk in the trunk going for a ride, because that's what it does. This is the one that lights you up. Okay, now, just a word of the wise. You don't want to have it running while you're trying to get on it. So, and let me adjust here so you can get a full view without me losing my head. Okay, there we go. Okay, so preset program. There we go. Okay, so we are jiggling away. And on this one provides the armrest, which is really handy. We don't feature this one a whole lot because it is just one of the single motors, but it does shake things up, in my opinion, a lot more than the Waiver or the Turbo does. You don't have to stand facing, the other challenge with this one is it's really hard. Woo! Feeling that one. It's really, really hard to do anything with your hands on this one because the platform is really narrow. So we can't go wide. We can only stay really close quarters on this one, okay? And if I turn around, okay, and it's really hard to bend over on this one because you just don't have a lot of room to work, but working the hamstrings, getting into a micro squat, but you can use the handlebars, which is what makes this one really appealing for those who struggle with balance. Okay, but again, it is really loud as compared to some of our others. If you're trying to work on squats, you can work on squats while holding on to the unit. And of course, this is really increasing the vibration into my hands. Getting a lot of jiggle going on here, okay? So this is the rhythm and how the rhythm works. We have the option of going into manual mode where we can increase the speed, decrease the speed, but it automatically has a default time of 10 minutes. Okay, now because we teach all of you guys, not to go over that 30 minutes of stimulation when you're just getting started. We're going to be getting 2 hours, almost 2 hours of stimulation with me. So I'm going to try and keep some of these demos short and simple. If you are wanting more demo and you're wanting more information on a specific device, every single one of these devices is on YouTube, and I have created a video, an orientation video, as well as workout videos for each and every one of these. So when you go on YouTube, if you're not already on YouTube, you're going to go to the Lifepro channel, okay? You're going to go to Lifepro channel or type in Lifepro at the top. And what I want you to look for is not the home page, but you're going to go to the videos page. And the videos page, I went through all these the other night. There's some of them, there's several hundred videos. But if you're interested in seeing how each one of these units runs, all the videos that I have created for Lifepro that include exercise programs or how to fix hip pain, back pain, what have you, the 21-day challenge, all those videos, those are all accessible in the videos link on YouTube for the Lifepro channel. So you can find more information about a really up close and personal demo and orientation on how these products are working if you need more of that information, okay? So there's the rhythm. Okay, now from there, we're gonna go to the foundational unit, which is the Waiver. And the Waiver, I got to, actually, come to think of it, guys, I don't own a Waiver. I don't own the original baby. I have, actually, take that back. I have the Waiver, Mini. I don't have the original Waiver. So I'll go to the Waiver Mini here in just a second. But the Turbo is the next one that I'm gonna bring over and demo to you. Now, just remember, with each and every purchase that you get with the Lifepro platforms, you're also gonna get a little bag that includes all of these mini loop bands, 4 different levels of intensity from light resistance all the way to heavy duty, the extra heavy resistance level. And these are tough. I don't have too many clients that have made it to the black level yet, that have done it right. We'll put it that way, because I think we can all suck it up if we have to. But when it comes to doing it right, that's what is most important. So that being said, from here, and then we also have the resistance bands that you can attach to each device. Again, go back to the YouTube and look on the channel to see the demo as to how to attach the bands, the remotes, and all that stuff, because each one of these units has a remote, how you can use it. But I just want to make sure that you get a generalization, so I'm not wasting a lot of your time going through the details that are already available on YouTube. All right, so from here, I'm going to take you on over here to the Turbo. And right there is our Turbo unit. Okay, getting a plug going here because we've got so many devices with just a couple of plugs. Excuse me. Super excited. So while you're all listening and awaiting, if you don't have questions about how to use these different devices, give me some ideas about what you're looking forward to this weekend. Are we going family holiday, or are we going shopping, or are we just enjoying some free time off? But anyhow, here is the Turbo. This is the Turbo. And with the Turbo, you're going to get, it comes with the fitness mat. I'd say most of our units come with the exercise mat here. And on here, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this upright so that you can see the face of it. It has a nice textured pad. What's really important to remember with each one of our platforms is that when you are using the platform, you wanna start just from the center. The more centered you are, the easier it is to balance. If you're wanting more intensity, you're gonna take your feet positioned even wider. And so you're gonna see on each one of the platforms, you're gonna see either a running motion or a go motion man that looks like he's running. The further out you go, the more it simulates the intensity of running from a caloric expenditure as well as from a muscle activation requirement. So start out close with balance, work your way up a little bit wider, and then all the way out to the edges, okay? And so here I have this really low so that you can actually see how this moves in a teeter-totter formation. So we're gonna turn this on, okay? And from here, you're gonna see there's the turbo has two motors, which represents the H motor and the L motor. Again, go back and watch the video of orientation as to how you're going to adjust that, because that gets really, really confusing over time, but really, really a neat device. We've got all the preset programs. So you're gonna see on the top here, there's a set button, and that's your program button, okay? And so you're gonna tap that each time that you're wanting to increase the intensity of the program that you're wanting to choose. And the higher in general, the higher the intensity or the higher the P program, the higher the intensity of the roller coaster ride. So if you're just getting started, start with a P1 or P2 program and work your way up to the P8, okay? HA represents the manual mode. HA represents the manual mode. And so I'm gonna go ahead and go into one of the higher level P modes. Okay, and you're gonna hear, as compared to the one I just used, I don't know if you're able to hear me or not because of the pods in my ears, but this one is whisper quiet. You can't even hear it, okay? Now you're gonna see that the amplitude, meaning how far it teeter-totters from side to side, the distance from each action is gonna be probably significantly less on some of these than on some of the other units that are more advanced, like the Rumblex series. But you have that's a good thing for those of you who are just getting started and need a little bit more support, more stability, need some time to adjust. But that being said, what's really nice about all of our units is that we have the ability to manually adjust them. So if you're wanting to have the turbo effect on a Rumblex model, you can use the turbo to do that. So I like the turbo for upper body, so I'm gonna back this up just a tad so that you can see everything in action with the upper body. All right. So I was fortunate enough to get a massage earlier today from one of my employees because my neck and shoulders were a mess today. But I'm on P7 setting. It's a 10-minute program, and this is ultra gentle compared to what like a Rumblex unit does. So if you're wanting to get started with something upper body, you can definitely do that with the turbo. But the Rumblex, if you like the Rumblex from listening to me talk about it, or if you already have one, you can also isolate a Rumblex into a turbo mode. Okay, do you think the Rumblex Max would help my mobility more than the Wave? Oh, absolutely. The Rumblex Max is as complex as it gets when it comes to options. Complexity meaning 3 really beefy motors, 550-pound weight capacity, 16 preset programs, just ultra intense as compared to the Waiver. The Waiver is a cakewalk compared to the Rumblex Max. But that being said, when it comes to doing upper body type work, this one right here, I'm already at a pretty high level here, and this one on the Rumblex definitely makes me more mobile than staying on this one. So now if you're going to see that there's some texture here on the top, and you're going to see it comes off on my hands because of how much pressure I'm putting on here. So you can see it on my hands there. So if you don't like that, that's why we can use a mat in order to soften that to the unit. So I'm going to take this to the sideways so you can see the side action. And so I'm going to go back into the same mode that I was just in, which is the P7, P8 mode, okay? And you can see everything jiggling, not as heavy as what I'm used to, but you can see things moving. And so we can go hands front to back. We can go hands to the side. If you take your hands really wide to the outside, we get a lot of movement, and it feels really, really good, really good. So if you work a really long day and use your hands and your body, your upper body a lot, this is an awesome way to wind down right before you go to bed so that you're not going to bed with a lot of cramps. We can also turn the wrist all the way around. I like to do this when I'm trying to get certain types of mobility going. And we've got individuals who are suffering of carpal tunnel syndrome or tennis elbow. This is a really good, easy way to work out some of those kinks. Okay, so there's the turbo. And again, it's just, it has 2 different motors, very subtle, good beginner model, 1 step up from the Waiver. So the Waiver is the entry level unit, and then the turbo is 1 notch higher than the Waiver. So, so I'm gonna go on through because we have lots of different Waivers. And I know turbo, we've got the Turbo Boost. We have a couple of other turbo units that are out there. I have every unit out here right now that's on special, but like I said, when we run out, we run out. So have Waiver and Turbo, love them. Thinking of upgrading, have a lot of lower back pain and would like to help with weight loss. Absolutely, upgrade to the Rumblex for sure. I'm going to go through all the Rumblex models here in just a little bit, but for now, I want to go ahead and move on into our specialty plates. Some of them include the push-up handles. Some of them are much smaller so that you can travel with them easier. Some of them are actually heated. We actually have a heated Waiver. We have a little itty bitty one called the Micro. And then of course from there, then I'll go into the Rumblex modes. So bear with me as I take you on to the next one. This is like show and tell day for me. I love these kind of days. Show and tell. So there it is right there. This is our Waiver Mini, and working on getting a cord over here to all of you. All right, there we go. Do you have a video to prep for knee replacement surgery? Absolutely. If you go into the video library, including knee strengthening, knee and hip pain, that is all you need to worry about doing going into your total knee replacement. You want to be as strong as possible going in, and then you'll be effectively stronger coming out on the backside. So let me adjust here just a tad. There we go. I know you guys all don't like to see a crooked screen. Okay, so plugging on in here to my unit. Now, this is the Waiver Mini. So it is a very, very small unit. I like using this one for a lot of upper body stuff. The only thing I don't like about it is it has a lot of texture on the top. So I love that it comes with the mat that you put it right over the top because it's very smooth and it's very soft on the palms. This one has several different preset modes. It also can go into manual mode if you choose to. So let me bring this up here a little closer. There we go. And so I'm going to turn this over so you can see kind of how it's all situated. Again, it's the Mini. You can see how it has the grooves in it. When I go to power it on, you're going to see that there's 2 lights up here on the control panel. One talks about the time, one shows which program you're doing, and one shows the speed. You don't have to worry about time or speed if you pick a preset program, as opposed to if you were to pick manual mode, okay? And so again, if you decide that you want to learn more about each one of these units before you purchase, make sure and go to the YouTube channel and check out the different links that are there so that you can see all the different opportunities of how to use them. And the 21-day challenge is another really good place to find some things, some exercises. Now, that being said, one thing I do want to talk about really quick is I want to make sure you all know it doesn't matter which platform you buy. You can do any workout or any exercises I've ever taught on any of our videos. You don't have to have a specific unit in order to use your platform for the given exercises. So if you have the Waiver, or the Waiver Mini, which is the one I'm featuring here, and you're wanting to go in for a total knee replacement, or you're going in for a total knee replacement, you can do all of those exercises on the Waiver Mini, even if I'm demonstrating them on a Rumblex. It doesn't matter. The fact that you can just get on it and do the exercises is life-changing. So don't hesitate to try any one of the programs, whether it's shoulder, back, hip, pelvic floor, knee, foot, ankle, the yoga that we feature every week. Get on and just try it on any device, because you don't have to have the specific device that we're demoing from. We just try and mix and match it up a little bit just so you can get a different exposure to some of our many different platforms. And I'm so excited to hear I'm on my mini Waiver now while I'm working from home. Isn't it awesome? Like, one of the greatest things, the reason why this device was actually created and invented was so that people who are working during the pandemic at home, or work from home on a regular basis, or even if you go from being up and mobile to being I call them desk jockeys. If you go to a sitting position all day, it is not good for you. Like, the body does not metabolize very well when you're sitting a lot. And so if you can stimulate energy from a cellular level to mobilize and metabolize energy in the body, the vibration platform is good at doing that without you having to create that activation. All you have to do is sit with your feet on top of it, and you can do that for several hours a day because you're not in a gravitational state in a vertical line. So if you feel really, really good with the unit moving for you, stimulating that energy and keeping the blood flowing into your extremities, especially if you have lymphedema, that is a great way to use these products on a day-to-day basis. And the Waiver Mini was created for that purpose, was to be able to easily travel from point A to point B. It is super, super light to be able to pick up and carry around. And it's small, so it doesn't take up a lot of space in the car. It doesn't take up a lot of space if you're in a motorhome, if you're going camping, if you are a softball player and you have access to an outlet in your vehicle, you can set this right outside, or any athlete, whether it's baseball, football. You can take these to athletic events and you can detox and flush all the lactic acid and crap out of your system to refresh you on for the next game if you have game after game after game after game. Pretty cool, especially from an athletic management standpoint. Okay, so we go into power mode. We go into preset programs, and we start at a P00, and we go all the way up to a 9-set program. So it has, I want to say it's got 9, 10 preset programs. And again, HA is its manual mode. And again, we have remotes for most all of these units. I just don't have them out here because they'd be everywhere. And so I'm just going to go into hey, I'm just curious. Is it Latrice? Because I'm looking from a really far away. What program are you using right now, sitting on it while you're watching from home? I'm curious. I'd like to join you in what you're doing today. So tell me which program you're using, and I'm going to do the exact same one that you're doing because I'm curious and I want you to inspire me. I'm used to inspiring everybody else. I'd like to do what you're doing today. So give me an idea, if you can comment in the box, what program did you select for today on your mini? And while we're figuring that out, I'm just going to go ahead and go with the entry-level mode, which is P00, okay? Super low. And it's a single motor, so we're just getting oscillation. We're not getting, there she is, P5. Okay, you got it, girl. Let's go P5. Here we go. Okay, so upper body, P5. You can see how my sparkles are shifting, okay? I wore my magic shirt today. So that you could see the sparkles in motion. You could see a good detail of how some of me is vibrating and absorbing this energy. And again, I don't like the little texture points on the mat because it leaves a lot of texture. I like to be nice and soft with the mat. So you just drop your head down, turn side to side, and you can feel all that energy releasing. Feels lovely. I like to sit back. You get those arms all the way out so that you can get a good stretch. Open those chest muscles up. So as you can see, a lot of different ways you can use this. We can go arm across, and I can lay off to the side. It's going to release it at all different points. It just depends on what you're trying to do. I'm on my Waiver Street 99. Like it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Use them, use them, use them. You can stand on them. You can sit with your feet up on them. There's all different kinds of things that you can do, but we are feeling the energy, and this feels good. Now, these are preset programming for 15 minutes, whereas most of our other models are only 10 minutes. You can really see the vibration working through. And I'm gonna arch my back, tuck my tail. So I'm really able to get this into my mid-back. So if you're suffering of mid-back pain, discomfort, that's how you can get that energy into the mid-back as opposed to just in the arms and the hands. We can also go low. Going low is going to get your whole body closer to it, which is going to stimulate your whole body a lot closer too. So I'm feeling this all the way down in my lumbar spine and my tailbone area. Not quite into my legs yet, but just here in this plank position. Now, if I go into the full-on plank position, now we're going to feel it a lot different. So we're feeling really, really good here. All right, so there is our Waiver Mini. This is the Waiver Mini. Thank you, Latrice, for giving me some insight on how you are doing with your Waiver Mini today. I'm super excited to join you on that. I usually do 10 minutes standing using resistance bands and 5 minutes sitting with 5-pound weights. That is awesome. I do a lot of those same combinations too, and that's the wonderful thing about these devices is there's no right or wrong. Whatever works for you is what you need to be doing. And if you need some inspiration on how to do more or to do things differently or how to tweak, I love tweaking things. You can find a lot of my videos with Lifepro on YouTube. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on, getting a little bird dog action here. Moving on to the Waiver Mini Press. So I'm gonna slide you on over. It's like the Price is Right. We're just showing one thing after another and love it. So this is the Waiver Mini Press. So it has the same texture. Oops, let's see if we can get you straight here. There we go. It has the same texture as the Waiver Mini. The difference is it has the little push-up handles. So it has these little slots in which the handles pop out and you can slide them in however you want to position. And so I like these, I like this unit. If you have hand pain or if you've got issues with if you're wanting to strengthen your arms up, or if you're wanting to feel a release in the upper body, this is a really good unit for that because through gripping, that energy transitions all the way up through and all the way and activating into your core. And if your feet are in contact with the ground, you're going to get an even higher level of stimulation being on the ground with your feet and being in a plank or in a bear position while you are in contact with these handles. Now, these handles specifically do not fold. Actually, I take that back. These do fold underneath. On the other unit, the Waiver Press, they store differently. So these actually kind of work in these recessed spots here on the bottom. And there we go. So, and they got the little gripper cups. So if you have hard floors, it keeps it from shifting. Even if you're on carpet or turf like I am, it still grips in, so it keeps it from shifting from side to side. So it's nice. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get plugged in here. And again, you can leave those handles underneath while you are using it as if you are using it like the Waiver Mini. So if you decide that you don't want to be pressing, you don't have to. Like I said, lots of extension cords in here today so that we can get all these models demonstrated for you in the same space. Okay, and the control panel looks exactly the same as if you were using the Waiver Mini. It's exactly the same. So the only difference between the Waiver Mini and this one is the fact that it has the handles. And so pull out the handles just that fast. I'm going to actually go on an angle first. And we're going to go back into P5 mode. There we go. And join along for an more advanced feeling here. Okay. And so right here, I can feel this in my shoulders quite a bit. I tell you what, I'm going to bring you guys closer. I'm going to drop the mic a bit. There we go. That way you can really see what's going on with me, right? You guys can see the kind of the oscillation that's happening right there. All right. So lots of jiggling going on, but when we go into push-up mode, As the intensity increases, you're going to see me move. Actually, I'm starting to itch. So that's a good response. That means I'm detoxing. And I haven't done a vibration workout in a few, actually probably all week, because I've been so busy with taking care of everybody else that I haven't made time to take care of me. So goodness, I'm really having trouble with getting the angle right here. Boop. There we go. Okay. I'm running solo today. Normally I have a helper, but it's the holidays and everybody needs some time. So, whoo, now we are driving the energy. This is a good one, Latrice. I like this. I haven't made a lot of time for program development lately, but I like that P5. That is great. Okay, now what you can do, especially if you have rotator cuff pain and you're trying to work rotator cuff, but you don't like doing the traditional therapy, we're going to push the unit away from us, and then we're going to squeeze our shoulder blades together. We're going to push away and squeeze together, push away and squeeze together. And as we're doing that, we are specifically isolating more of our mid-trap and our serratus muscle group. Okay, and those are your stabilizers for your shoulder blade, which is what ultimately leads to the rotator cuff problems. Now, if we want to make this a little bit more challenging, we can just pick our knees up off the ground. This gets much, much harder, okay? But again, we can push away, we can squeeze too. Push away, squeeze too. We can also get into some familiar yoga poses here and get a nice alignment going and really drive this energy from the fingertips all the way down to the toes using our core to drive the energy. So there's all different kinds of things you can do. You don't have to turn it off in order to switch handles. You can just continue to let it run. And now the wider I go, woo, jealous. The wider I go, the more I feel it, which is a good thing because I needed this today. So we go into push-up mode. Yep, we are on fire. Make it harder, take a leg in the air. Switch back and forth if you want to. We can drop knees down, pop up. So many different things you can do. If you don't want to work out and you just want to hold on to the handles and you can sit back, you're still going to get an incredible stretch. So if you've got tennis elbow through here or lateral epicondylitis, this is a really good stretch with the vibrational intensity without being too close to the unit. And again, we can drop really low and really take advantage of what we're feeling. Now, check this out. As long as you don't touch your butt to the control panel, the other thing that this is really cool for is you've got grippers here that we can lift off, sit down, pick up, sit down, pick up, right? So now we're doing dips. We're getting some strength going here in the triceps. We're getting a really good pec minor stretch, which is usually the leading cause of neck and shoulder pain. Okay, we can drop a little lower to where we're not overstraining ourselves here. Now, let's say that I want to try a different angle there. Okay, what we can do is go on an angle here. And then now, instead of going side front to back, now I'm on an angle. So I can actually get myself all the way down on the ground, pick up and open up, right? And slowly drop back down. Pop up, open up. And breathe. We can go into tabletop and breathe. It feels so good. Yes, you get to enjoy this with me, right? That looks safer than doing it on a couch or a chair. It can be, yes, definitely so. If you are one who doesn't like doing dips on a chair or on the couch, it's definitely much, much safer. Here's one of my favorite tricks is we sit our booty on the platform, okay? And then we sit our butt on the floor. And then we get our butt up off the floor. And then we sit back on the floor. And it really is just that simple. And you'll be surprised how fast your body fatigues when you're doing that exercise. It's an awesome exercise. It's in the 21-day challenge. So there is the Waiver mini press, okay? Waiver mini press. Now we're gonna move on to my next favorite with the Waiver series, and that's the Waiver press, not the mini, but the original size. And wait for it. here we are, just like that. Okay. Now, if anybody has any questions, has any thoughts, please don't hesitate to chime in. We're always open to more questions. I'm curious as to what your favorite unit is. Those of you who are all listening, I want to know which one you have, if you already have one or if you have multiples, because I don't know that you can have too many of these, as you can see in the background. Now, if you missed me earlier, this is the rhythm. This is one of our originals. Let me level up my unit here so you guys all don't think that I'm all crooked on you. Okay. This is the rhythm. This is the big dog. This is one of the first units that ever came out a couple years back. And it didn't last for long before we had more people asking for them. All right. Now, there we go. Now, this one is different from the other one in that this is the Waiver. It's not the Waiver Mini, it's the Waiver. So it is a bigger beast. It has 5 preset programs. The handles, instead of wedging the handles underneath here on the bottom, it does have the suction feet. The handles actually store right here on top. Right here on top. Okay? And so we have, as compared to the Waiver Mini Press, we have several more holes, several more combinations of what we can do to utilize this. And it is a bigger surface. So you're not like hunched together. You can really spread out with these. And like I said, you can use the handles for about anything, but I really like the Waiver Press series for when we're trying to work on upper body. So those handles just go in just like that. If you decide that you want to angle, you can angle here, or you can angle here. We can angle closer. So if there's all of you gurus out there that like the triangular push-ups, try doing a triangular push-up or a triangular hover on the Waiver Press. It is very, very hard to do, but one of my favorite exercises, no less. Okay, so going to adjust here. Now, we're going to go ahead and we've got the power turned on, so I'm going to go ahead and select the programming. Again, we've got 5 preset programs, and we're going to go on, and you can see it's a subtle movement. Okay, it's a very subtle movement, and again, it is still moving my torso. So I'm still feeling this in my belly, and I'm feeling this in my arms. So if you're wanting to access the different muscle groups in the core, you're trying to get rid of that spare roll in your belly, you're trying to get rid of the bat wings, the junk in the trunk, all the above. The vibration platforms are really good at helping to mobilize fat molecules, fat cells, so that you can burn them, shrink them down to size. You really never eliminate fat cells unless you have liposuction done. They don't just disappear. We just shrink them down and use the fuel that's hibernating inside of them. And so once we start to eat more than we need and we move a lot less, our food particles start to form energy storage in those fat cells, and those fat cells start to inflate with extra energy. And if we are wanting to lose weight or losing size and becoming more trim, we have to starve those cells down. And so that's how we metabolize and how we mobilize those cells. If those cells become trapped in our connective tissue in this miraculous web structure, then it's really hard to metabolize those fat cells. So what is really cool about this, I've had this argument with so many people. It really is just as simple as getting on the machine and letting it shake you up. Shaking you up, it allows your cells to then mobilize from the fascial adhesion structure. And from there, then you can actually metabolize them. It's really hard to metabolize fat cells if they're trapped and you can't stimulate or activate them. So it is a magic machine in that you can just simply stand on it. I've lost 50 pounds just doing light exercise and no other diet or cardio on the back end. If anything, cardio actually inflames you the older you get. So I just enjoy doing different exercises in the form of resistance training on the platforms, because when you are stimulating 90% of your muscle fibers to activate without lifting weights, when you add resistance training to that, you get an even bigger response. All right, so here we go. So if I want to go into that push-up position, okay, or if I want to go into a wide jack position, maybe I want to go one hand press and one hand off so I can really open up. Okay, there's a lot of different ways that you can do this. If you don't enjoy doing that, but you want to make access with the handles, but just don't want to get in push-up position, you can just squat behind it and enjoy a completely different angle. A lot of different things you can do. I'm just doing like a forward fold, hamstring hinge stretch here. And so from a side angle, you can see how this can change things as opposed to just this right here. I'm getting far more stimulation in contact with these handles. And then if I go super wide, again, you don't have to stop the machine. You do have to use some force to get them out. Whoo, I'm itching, which is a good thing because then we're going to go downward dog position, modified downward dog, I should say. So modified downward dog position. Okay, and we can make that as strenuous or as easy as we want it to be. Okay, we can go into what I call bear crawl hover position. What we in the sports medicine world call positions is very different than what they call them in yoga. So if I'm calling something different, whoo, itchy. Okay, I'm gonna have to take off this long sleeve shirt because I'm itching like crazy. Okay, I have a Waiver mini press, Rumblex 40 plus, and the new Relaxivive. Right now I'm using the 40 plus the most. Haven't even started using it. Yes, I love it. I love it. Love it. Though my butt does any fit between the handles. Oh, your butt does not fit in between the handles on the mini yet. Yet. I like to say yet. Let's keep working that. So if I go to hang out on top, oh, jollies. I got to get this tank top off or this long sleeve top off because I'm getting really, really itchy. And I wore my Santa red outfit today since it is holiday season. But yeah, we got to itch, which is a good problem to have. But yes, we can do sit to stand or to kneeling, however you want to do it. You can glide on, make it a little bit harder. All different kinds of things that we can do. And you're going to see I'm turning red because it's making me jiggle a lot. And I'm like detoxing, and it's a great, great feeling. I like it. We're going into full-on mode here. Good. We can go up dog if you wanted to. We can do all different kinds of things. I love it. Woo. Yes, itch. I don't know about all you guys, but when you itch, that is a really good thing. I enjoy itching, and I enjoy feeling that stuff mobilizing itself. So yes, itch away. All right, so there is the Waiver press. All right, now we're moving on to the Waiver Enhance, and the Waiver Enhance is actually a heated unit. And so I'm gonna go ahead and position my camera over here so you can see it. If I can stop itching for a second. Oh, love the itching. It's a great thing. Okay, now I'm gonna take you all for a little ride to see the Waiver Enhance. It's right there. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to back this up a notch because we've got so much and so many gadgets. I got to rearrange just a little bit to have all room for all these things. It's a great thing. And that's how simple it is to move things. You just rock and roll, right? Rock and roll. All right. So we're going to plug this one in. And now I don't have my user manual out in front of me, so I don't know off the top of my head what the heating element, how warm this gets. But I'm going to go ahead and get into a seated position on here with my feet elevated so that you can see how I might use this with my Piggly Wigglies. And here's, I'm going to try this and see if I can get really good exposure of this unit. Again, trying to think backwards on how this camera lines up. It's always easier said than done. Okay. Stay with me. Getting the big stool that I have in all of my videos. If you're wondering about this stool, it comes from IKEA, and it is a bar height stool so that I can minimize the strain on my hips. Really, really important. But first, I want to give you a glimpse of this because I never really launched this. This was an Amazon product for a while. Okay, so we have the bands that attach on here as well. All of our units attach with the bands. And so we have the unit turned on. It does have a remote that comes with it, okay? And so preset programs, there's 3. And 10 minutes is the entry level on this. And so I'm gonna go into P1 and we're gonna hit play. And it is a subtle movement. Subtle but powerful. Okay. And it's an auto, so you don't have to do anything with the time. It already is set up for 12 minutes time. All right, so here's a visual of that. Now we're gonna go up a little bit higher so that you can see my whole body working with this, but I want to give you some exposure as to what it really looks like up close and in person. Again, that's called the Waiver Enhance. Okay. We are going to get all jiggly here. There we go. Now, I don't have the heat feature on. In fact, I left my remote over here. And you're going to see on here with the remote, it has a heat feature on there. So you can use the heat feature button in order to light it up. Okay, can everybody give me a thumbs up if you're hearing everything? Did I unfroze? I unfroze. Okay, good deal. So I'm going to turn on the heat, and it shows on here that the heat is on. And as fast as I have just turned that on, I can already feel the heat element turning on. Okay, and yes, I am jiggling a lot, my lower body. And this is just a little baby device. So if you like to have your feet heated while you're getting a little workout going, and I'm just on a P1 setting, there's 3, then we can really feel this energy. I like to work on opening and closing toes when I'm on these devices. It's a great feeling. And if we want to hover just a little bit, then we really make the legs burn while we're heating up our feet, right? Now, as you can see, it's a very, very narrow base. So you can't do anything super wide with what you can do on some of our other platforms, but this is just a very small device. You can use this underneath of your desk. If you are naturally dealing with neuropathy or compromised circulation or Raynaud's syndrome where your feet get really cold and then you go numb and they turn a different color, it is a way to have the best of all worlds with having a small device underneath of your desk where you can type and do your things, answer your phone calls, do whatever kind of searching you got to do, Christmas shopping, whatever you got going on. You can do that all from the convenience of just having this underneath of your desk or at your chair. And it doesn't take up a lot of space and it's super light to carry. I carried this in with one arm while carrying all my other stuff in. And if you choose that you don't want to bend down, then you just use your remote in order to do what you got to do. But it does pack a punch. Okay, it does get things moving. I'm going to turn this to the side so that you can see how much movement my body actually does. And again, this is on a P1 setting. So I'll go through the different programs here in just a second. Let me raise this up so you can get my full body. I'm not getting cut off. There we go. All right. Oh, jellies. Now we're getting all the junk in the trunk moving, right? And this is always a good thing. It's always good to get that stuff mobile. All right. Getting into a forward fold. Ah, feeling so good. I don't know about all you guys, but I just like to just stand on here and stretch. Just standing on here and stretching feels great. You can get into a kneeling lunge. This is a real challenge, but again, we're getting an intense release. If you've got plantar fasciitis, or you've got restless leg syndrome, or you've got shin splints, you can do this position right here in order to release that tension in the lower leg. If you've got neuropathy in your feet or in your lower leg, these smaller devices make it nice and convenient to be able to unlock all that stuff as if it's like a gentle massage. So it's nice and convenient to have all that all in one little package. Okay, now I know you're all wondering, it's so powerful, it's moving on my floor, it's moving itself, it's actually like turning itself around. It feels good, and I'll tell you what, this is way more than I like to tolerate. So I'm gonna sit back and enjoy the feeling on my hands with the heaters, but that P1 program was too much for my upper body. There we go. Now we're dropping down a notch. But again, you've got manual mode control, so you can make this whatever you want it to be. It's a good feeling. Drop the head, turn your head side to side, unlocking those traps, looking up and looking back, going sideways. I like to do shoulder circles while I'm in contact with. That's really hard to do, but feels really good once you figure it out. Whew, feels good. Okay, before I continue to itch out of control, are there any questions on that one? I'm seeing that I unfroze. Now, if somebody can give me some insight, if you have any questions, or if you have any interest on that one. I don't know, again, off the top of my head, I don't know like how warm it actually gets. It gets, whew, yeah, itching. It's a good problem to have. Again, so we're not gonna underestimate that. Yes, it only has oscillation. That is correct. It is great for lymph movement in the arms and actually in the legs as well. It just wherever you can get comfortable on it is where it's good. All right. So the next one up is the micro, the little baby, the little bitty baby. And the micro, I'll tell you what, when we did the orientation filming for this one, when we made the video for YouTube on this one, oh my goodness, we had so much fun with this because we didn't realize how powerful this unit really is until we did. And then it was like, oh my goodness. This little guy, like me standing on this, I mean, I went bananas as far as how much my body became stimulated on this. I just want to show you just how small this is because they call it the micro. Okay, there's our micro. Yes, if you fell hard on your bum the other day, yes, the vibration platform is going to help dissipate that inflammation and is going to help you regenerate cells and cell health much faster. Okay, so here's the micro. It's like as wide as I am, like not like the other platforms are about outside of my shoulder width as far as size goes, but this is just a little guy. And so we have our power feature, and the control panel on here is really easy to use. And we've got different preset programs. Let me see which program we've got. We've got P1, P2, P3, and then we've got manual mode. So 3 preset programs and then a manual mode, okay? And so there we go. Whew, I'm getting blotchy from being all red. And so that being said, if you guys ever get a rash when you're working out with these, that is normal when your body is trying to detox stuff. Does the waiver help with someone with Parkinson's? Yes, it sure does, because we are minimizing stress hormone, and stress hormone is the correlation between autoimmune disease and not. So the more stress you have, the more likely your symptoms are going to be, noticeable or going to be more challenging. Or that's the difference in having autoimmune disease and going into remission. So if you can minimize stress hormone in the body, cortisol, norepinephrine, and adrenaline, and start maximizing your happy hormones, your dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, then your body is going to be more regulatory on hormone release, which is really important with how we are overall health. A lot of autoimmune is a lack of proper hormone release. So once you get your hormones in check, life gets much easier. Okay, now this one is a lot for what it is. both of my hands are on this unit, and I'm very, very narrow here. But I'll tell you what's really fun with this one. Number one, I can already feel this all the way down to the bottom of my belly, and I'm not even on the unit. And because it's such a small platform, and because it packs such a punch with its intensity, and oh, there we go. It almost makes you feel like it's linear vibration, but it's still moving. Linear vibration travels up and down your body a lot more intently than, and you can start hearing my voice shift. We can start singing, no, just kidding. Yeah, so I am really, this one's gonna make me itch really quick because it is intense. In fact, the further that my head is from the unit, the better it is on my noggin and my brain and my neurosensory. But I can still get the energy. Whew. If it's too much, you can put the pad that comes with it, and it dissipates the energy just a little bit if it's too intense. And it can be too intense. This one comes with two pads. It comes with a dampener pad, which means if this is so much, whoo, if this is so much for you to use on the floor that your neighbors down below hear it, or your people in your home, you can put this underneath the vibration platform, and it softens how much energy. But yeah, so this is easier on me. I can actually get right over the top of it, and it's not as intense as if I'm actually in contact with. But the micro it packs a punch. What I like to do with the micro, what's really fun with this one, is going 1 foot and really challenging balance movements, or challenging lunge position and stretching out that psoas muscle, drawing rainbows. You really burn out. We're trying to activate so many of these muscles, and you really burn out fast when you're in this position by itself. If I'm down kneeling, again, we are stimulating in through the lower calf. So if you have restless leg syndrome, if you have plantar fasciitis is pain on the bottom of the foot, but the source of the problem 90% of the time originates in the calf muscle itself from being too tight. So you can work on just really feeling that energy traveling up and through the knee. If you have knee pain, it helps with that. So now I'm going to stand on here, and you're going to see how much this is fun. You're going to see how much this really vibrates. I want to see if there's a question up here. I had not associated the vibration platform with rash. I got a fine rash on my arms using my hands on the platform. That's good. Yes. Yes, I do. I get a rash. You're starting to see it there. And I itch and I scratch, and then I'm fine. So I only am like that for maybe a half an hour, and then I'm fine. So it's a very temporary thing. It goes away after a few moments. Okay, so we're going to go into mode with my Piggly Wigglies. There we go. And there we go. I feel like I like to say, I feel like a weeble wobble, because I feel like a bobblehead, if you will, because that's how much energy you feel. And if I get into this bent over position with my hands on my knees, oh, there we feeling it. Ooh, good stuff. Get into a deep squat, rise up. Yeah. So I'm going to turn this to the side so you can really see everything moving. But the challenge with this one is it's such a small platform that you have to keep your feet really close. And if you wear anything, I'm a 9.5 shoe, anything bigger than that, it's really, really hard. And I can feel this all the way up in between my ears, all the way up in between my ears. So some of you, that I don't like that kind of intensity, me personally, but some people, that is a good thing, especially if you got neuropathy. It's really good for that. So that's the micro. Okay, so we've made it through all of the lower level products. We've made it through all the Waiver platforms. We've made it through the Rhythm. We've made it through the Turbo, and now we're going to jump into the Rumblex series. So bear with me as I make a shift. I'm going to move to the front of my room so that you can see from afar. There we go. And you're going to see right here is one of my absolute favorite platforms. This is the Rumblex Pro, okay? And I'm going to show you all the reasons why the Rumblex Pro is as special as it is. I'm going to put my shirt back on because I'm cold. I do itch. I'm not as itchy, but I am cold. So I'm going to warm myself up a little bit because in Indiana here, it is cold. I don't like cold weather. I need to move away to a tropical climate. Okay. Now, the Rumblex Pro. What I like about the Rumblex Pro, it is not as aggressive as the 4D or the Plus or the Max, but it's the accessories that make the Rumblex Pro a super special device. And so what I want you to remember when it comes to how you can use your devices, how the variability of whether you're wanting to have attachments in place with, if you're using it for rehab, if you're using it for balance, if you have a big foot, if you have a foot like a 10 in men's or bigger, you've got plenty of room on the Rumblex Pro. My husband wears a size 13 shoe, and he likes using the Pro as well. I have some clients who come in that are professional athletes who wear like a size 15. Like it's really hard to fit on a smaller Rumblex. Like the Relaxavibe is going to be too small for those individuals. The Rumblex 4D is going to be too small, but the Plus and the Pro have a bigger surface for a really long foot. So it works really well for them. So when I've got athletes who are coming in who have really, really big feet or are super tall, like 7 foot tall, 6.5, 7 foot tall, I put them on the Pro because they have more space to more room to relax and use the tool. Okay, what makes the Pro cool is it has this Velcro strap. And I don't teach a lot of exercises with these bungee bands because if somebody at home has a Turbo, a Waiver, or one of the other platforms, one of the other Rumblex platforms that does not come with the bungee bands, it's a very frustrating thing for them to observe what I'm doing and to be able to want to enjoy it, but not have the accessibility to do that with the platform. So I don't demonstrate a lot of videos using these bands, but we use them a lot when I'm working with clients for rehab and for strengthening and just overall human performance. But what makes this special is it attaches, this band, set of bands, attaches right here to the top of the unit, right here to the top, okay? And we have the choice of whether we want the 20-inch medium resistance or the 26-inch. So if you are short, like I am, if you attach the 26-inch bungee, it's not enough resistance. So you can use the shorter bungee, which is only 20 inches, but it's a 6-inch difference. So it makes a huge difference when you're trying to create different exercises with the Pro. And if you're wanting to do different things with the handles, we have the cuffs that come with it. So you have the choice of ankle cuffs. Okay, so these will attach to your ankles, or I also like to just slip these on around my wrists, and then the bands attach to the wrist, which are attached to the platform, so you can hold and just really dial in the abs. It's an awesome feeling. So I'm actually going to demonstrate that. Now, I do a lot of talking, so I'm going to grab my water real quick, and if you happen to have a Rumblex Pro and you want to join me in this, feel free to grab your stuff. Water does the body good. Make sure to drink water. Okay, so here we're going to strap this on. There we go. And again, I'm going 20-inch because I am shorty today. These also have the handles. So if you don't want to use the cuffs and you'd rather use the gripper handles, it comes with those as well. The Pro comes with a lot of bells and whistles. So I tell clients all the time, if you're wanting all the bells and whistles, you want the Pro. If you're wanting intensity, you want the 4D, the Max, or the Plus. And of course, we got to plug in. It would help if we plug in. And I know you're all watching, and some of you are being really quiet. Yes. Okay, so those of you who are watching, if you're not exercising with me, give me a little heads up about what you're working on. If you're just relaxing, if you got time to yourself, there's nothing better than quiet time alone sometimes. It's underrated, I think, by a lot of people. Don't get me wrong, I love all the chaos and the noise, but sometimes we just gotta revamp and have some silence. Okay. Now, if you are interested in some Zoom classes on the Rumblex Pro, we at Kivik Kinetic Solutions, my business, are going to start offering those in January via Zoom, via membership. That's later, and that's separate from what Lifepro does. They have some different things I think that they're working on coming at some point in the near future. Okay, so here we are. I'm enjoying the vibrational energy, and I'm just holding my arms here at this position, enjoying the resistance. It's pushing me harder into the platform, which means my feet are absorbing the energy more. Now, if I don't want to pull up, then all I got to do is relax my arms and enjoy the vibrational energy. I can even just put my hands on my knees if I really want to. Now, if I want to get more of a workout in the biceps, triceps, but I don't want to grab weights, I can choke up on the bands and start doing bent over rows. So it's like I have a bar here, but I don't have a bar. But what you can do, this is cool, watch this, is we switch cuffs and we bring the cuffs across opposites. A little jingle, we are gonna sing Jingle Bells, right? All right, so if you crisscross the cuff and you grip down lower and you pull to the side, now we're doing crossover rows. Killer on the back in a good kind of way. A lot of burning. We can just hold here. Now I'm driving all of this energy through the pelvic floor, and it is lighting my body on fire, and it feels good. Feels oh so good. So heart rate is up. So it is just a totally different animal. We're getting 3 motors running together, preset programming, don't have to think. But if you decide that you want to control your own programming, it has a remote that you can wear on your wrist that you can control all that. But right now, I am really feeling this in my pelvic floor, in my abs, in my arms. Everything is burning. And all I'm doing is a static hold. Okay? I can go into a bent over static hold. I can grip and pull across. Okay? I can go into hinge mode where I'm having to hinge myself up, hinge and lift. Okay? So many different ways that we can do this. Now, if I wanted to do something like bicep curls, okay, then I can adjust these bands, these straps, so that they're not crisscrossed, but so that I'm actually just holding them in the palms of my hand like this. So hands are open, and I can stand here and actually curl while I'm vibrating. Isn't that crazy awesome? Like, we don't have to have anything else. We don't have to have any more bands. We don't have to have any weights unless you choose to have weights, but we can do bicep curls just like this, okay? If you choose to put the 26-inch bands on, then you can get into some jabbing positions, but you don't want to do that if the bands are already tight, okay? We can go position right here. We can squat and stand, and you can use the squatting in order to drive the energy up, which increases the resistance and the intensity on the entire body. So many different ways. Whew, there we go. Yes, that is so cool, Loretta. You're exactly right. Hanging with my pups, watching this and getting some Christmas stuff done. Yay! Oh, I love it. Christmas vacation is almost over. Mine is going to be starting here very soon, where we are actually going to do some stuff. We're going to close down the gym here, the facility, for a week, and just enjoy family time. Now, let me show you something that makes the Pro extra special for those who are in pain. Something that I love the Pro for, when I have individuals who come in who are in pain, and we're trying to drive vibrational energy into one sweet spot. The really cool thing that this device has, that the only other device we have that does this is one of our linear platforms. And So here we go. So as you can see here, this is what we call a static hold strap. And so it has these color codes on the back so that you know exactly how much you have tightened each side to be equal. And so I'm going to drive this through. Let's pause this. We're going to drive this through. And I'm going to go into line with the very top, which is our red, okay? And what is really nice about these, there's no resistance. It is a strap. There's no stretch and recoil. It is a static strap, which is really good so that if we're trying to create what is called an isometric contraction, an isometric contraction means that you are firing the muscle, but it's not lengthening or it's not shortening. We're just pushing the wall the way, and the walls aren't going anywhere. Let's see here. Yes, the straps are worth their weight in gold. That is so true because there's no other way to replicate that on this unit. And Mary, yes, this will be available on YouTube, on our Facebook channel. You'll be able to watch all of this later into the future. Like you can go back and watch all my former videos. They save and upload all of these, so you can go back through and watch all this later. But just remember that the 15% off vibration therapy sale is very short term. It's a limited time only, and only as the supplies are available, which is growing minimal now towards the holidays. So don't hesitate to purchase in order to get these units before Christmas or whatever holiday that you might celebrate. All right. So we get on and we just pull. We just pull, and it just pulling and absorbing this energy in itself by just being on the device is nice, okay? Now, if you're wanting to angulate, okay, if I have pain in my right shoulder, then I'm going to pull a little bit more on my right handle, my right arm, which is attached to the left of my foot. So we're driving this diagonal up the right side, and I can enjoy this vibrational energy. If I'm trying to get energy, like let's say here into my right butt cheek, I'm going to get into a deep squat, and I'm going to pull with more to, if I'm trying to get this hip, I'm going to pull with the opposite handle as I sit into this a little bit. Okay, so you can teeter totter using the tension straps. Whoo! There's a reason why we tell you only to do about 30 minutes of these at a time. Because once you get on these units that are 3 motors, the energy is real. The energy is real in a good kind of way. So we can get into a bent over position. We can put our arms behind us and really like we're skiing downhill, just like Loretta said. And we can really feel this. We can go to the side. And then what we can do, if we're wanting to feel this more in the abdominals, is we can lengthen the straps and simply just bring the straps out in front without too much gripping. I like to think of a negative fingertip hold. Is just hold them on your fingertips, get into a squat, and just lift up on the handles, and it is going to drive your abs burning crazy. Abs are burning crazy just by fingertip hold. It doesn't take much, okay? Don't forget to hold your pee and hold your poo. What I mean by that, you want to tighten down and contract the muscles that hold your pee in place when you got to go really, really bad and can't get to a bathroom. That's activating that pelvic floor, okay? And so if you don't learn how to activate those muscles, that's the difference in having incontinence and not, and having control of your lower body organs and not, okay? So feeling really good, but the static straps make the Pro well worth the extra money. I would love more exercise videos for the Pro. You got it, girl. You got it. Okay. Now, the next one is the Plus. I'm going to take my cart here for a little ride so that you can see the Plus. Now, the Plus is the one that I recommend to most of my athletes because it's completely flat. If they are wanting to try some different things, and it is our most stable platform. If you have instability and you are not very good with balancing, The plus is my favorite for those individuals. And my plus is, the plus is my favorite if you have had a total knee or a total hip replacement, or you have foot ankle misalignment problems. So if you have any kind of a joint problem, you don't want too much of a curve. So you want to avoid the 4D. If you are comfortable with having a little bit of curve to being able to push into the sides to drive that energy up through your thighs more, then you're better off in having a little bit of curve than having completely flat. If you have big feet, the Pro and the Plus are your units. Okay. Myrna recently got the 4D, and I'm appreciating all the information you're providing as I'm overwhelmed as to where to begin. So thank you for these videos. So Myrna, I'm going to highly recommend that you go onto our YouTube channel and you type in Lifepro getting started on any platform. And that is a video I did a year ago at Christmas, the same exact time that we are right now. And I did it after reading so many frustrating customers who had no idea how to start using the product. And so much, in fact, that they didn't even want to take it out of the box. And so it makes me sad to think how many people buy it, but they don't ever take it out of the box to use it because they're missing so much by just standing on it. Like, you don't have to do anything but get on it, turn the unit on, and stand on it. It's that simple. So don't let your goals frustrate you with what you should or should not do. It is really hard to do something wrong on these devices. So don't be afraid to play around a little bit. You're likely not gonna hurt yourself by playing around. Do be careful if you got balance challenges. And just remember that if you're itchy, scratchy, have to use the potty a little bit more or develop a mild rash, that is your body eliminating junk in the trunk. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and power on. Now, what makes this unit really cool, and some of our units are starting to come out with this. So like the Relax-A-Vibe, the Rumblex Plus, and I know that they have revamped the 4D. Those units now have a sound block feature as well as a control panel feature. So if you have a remote with those units, and if you don't want to take a chance of the unit turning off by you accidentally sitting down on it and deactivating it, you can actually turn the control panel into a locking mode so that you can't turn it off if you accidentally brush your booty over if you're sitting on it. And again, I like being able to use my Piggly Wigglies to activate the programming that we're choosing. And if you watch all my videos, and again, there are several, most of my favorite programs are the P2 program on the Rumblex series. Very, very consistent. I like the aggressiveness of it. If I'm trying to shake things up a bit, you can go into a side lunge position, front to back, so you can actually turn on it sideways, and you'll feel this totally different. Now, when it starts going into oscillation mode, right now it's in lateral mode. When it starts going into oscillation mode, where it's a teeter-totter, it gets much harder. There it is. It's a much different sensation than if you can see my hips are doing more of this. Oh, jollies, this feels good. Now, I like this one because we have a lot of room to play. So we can sit on it. I can lean back, work abs a lot, and I'm feeling a lot more of the energy here in my booty, traveling all the way up into my shoulders, into my pelvic floor. I had a total hysterectomy, years ago, and could not activate the pelvic floor, and did the physical therapy, did biofeedback, did electrical stimulation, did everything. And that's what led me to Lifepro. And so when I got on this unit and just sat on it, it activated the muscles in contact with, which, as you can see, are my pelvic muscles and my booty muscles. So just sitting here is really quite calming if you are in pain and trying to mobilize. I woke up this morning very, very stiff. I actually taught teenagers last night in speed and agility training, and I haven't taught that in a very, very long time. So my body is very sore today. So it's very fitting that we have the vibration therapy series here today. The other thing that you can do, a lot of people have restless leg syndrome and plantar fasciitis. So if you sit on the floor with your legs elevated up too, This right here feels really, really good just to allow the machine to move you. It truly is a magic machine. You don't have to do anything on it. It does everything for you. If you choose to use other accessories on top in order to make it an actual workout, as you can find some of my workouts online, it makes it definitely more challenging, the more challenging that you want it to be. That's totally your call as to how easy or how hard you make it. We can get into a bridged position where we are laying on our back. I'm going to turn this sideways so that you can get a full glimpse of this. These are heavier than our other platforms, so about 30 pounds or so, and they've got a max capacity much greater than those of the Turbo or the Waiver. The max capacity for these are about 330 pounds. So you have a lot of variety to work with. All right, so I'm gonna lay my mat back there. We're gonna lay on the back. Feet are going up. And I'm gonna go booty in the air and just really absorb this energy while I'm activating my abs, my core, my pelvic floor, really feeling all this lighting up. And yet it's a relaxed state position. Now I don't have all of my Amber tools here, so I don't have the Amber squishy ball, I don't have the Amber resistance bands or the B3 blood flow resistance bands, but you can do all kinds of exercises to make this a lot harder if you're wanting more than just laying here. If you've got an ankle sprain and you're recovering from a foot ankle reconstruction and you're like 4 weeks post-op on your surgery, you can actually use this to break apart some of the scar tissue that develops that shouldn't be there, that's causing you problems. So just being able to work on hip bridging and working on stabilizing those muscles. There's so many different things we can do here. We can get into it. One of my favorite positions is to put the mat on top. Put the mat on top, and I actually like to just kneel on it. Kneel on it and balance, because you really feel everything intense in those abs. People ask me all the time, like, what's the best ab workout to do with this? Well, if we're here in this kneeling position and we've got those resistance bands that come with it and we push those resistance bands up overhead, holy moly, is this line lit up. Like, rip you out, right? Without doing lots and lots of crunches or sit-ups. And you can go kneeling really close together, where you can really work on side bending and opening up those QL muscles. You can go super wide sitting back. You can go sitting back here and really feeling this. If you've got shin splints, you can really open up the shins, the shin angle in a kneeling position here in contact with. Again, the sky is the limit on what you can do with any one of these platforms. Okay, well, knee, hip, lower back pain, with knee, hip, lower back pain, which platform movement is best? I would definitely recommend the Plus or the Pro for that. The Plus or the Pro, because there's so much variety with those units, and you can calm them down or you can beef them up to being as intense as you want them to be. Gotta pull my britches back up. The stuff's moving around, it feels good, but somehow my britches are moving too. It's a good problem to have. You can open up, stretch, and then just feel this energy, and it feels absolutely wonderful if you're really tight in the chest and the shoulders. But this, again, it's an aggressive, intense sensation without being over the top with your feet on a curve. I'm going to go into the Rumblex 4D next, which is the original 3-motor unit that came out first. It was the first one to come out 2 years ago, in which I think it was 2 years ago. It was the first time that they brought out a Rumblex unit. That's why they call it the Rumblex 4D. And then they came out with the Rumblex Plus, which is flat. And then they came out with the Pro, which is curved. And then they came out with the Max, which is a 550 capacity and 3 motors. And then they came out with the Relax-A-Valve, which has a heating pad on top and is more designer looking. So they're just continuing to build upon the line, which I love, because they all do something special, and it all depends on how you decide to use them at home as to whether you achieve the goals or not. So there's the Rumblex Plus. All right, we're going to move you along the journey. We're going to go on over here to the Rumblex 4D. And it is my favorite for fat loss. It is an animal. And you're going to see my body rattle and shake up like it's intense how much it really works. All right, grabbing a drink. Good stuff. Okay, Rumblex 4D. It is 3 motors, 3 preset programs, manual mode operation, has the light panels on the side so you can see where you're at in, let's see here. Maybe it's gonna work. I might have the wrong cord. Okay, for whatever reason, that one doesn't want to work, but I got one on standby, so hang tight. We'll come back to that one. Give me 1 second. My units get used and abused every day in my facility, so I've got a couple of each so that when this happens, I've got a backup to go to, because we use these for rehab and for pain management every single day around here. So Lifepro is very generous in keeping me supplied so that I can continue to heal people with our technologies. Okay, let's give this one a shot. If not, I'm going to check my outlet. All right, it has to be my outlet. Let's give this a try. See, it's not Lifepro's problem. It was my problem from the very beginning. The other unit probably worked all along and I just didn't have my breaker switch turned on the extension cord. Lots of safety in this joint when we got extension cords everywhere. Oh, goodness. A lot of talking today, but hey, if I didn't enjoy talking with all of you guys, I wouldn't. So I'm excited to show you how much my body vibrates with this unit. And again, I have lost a lot of weight, over 50 pounds, using these units for just mobilizing stuff for relief and for hormone regulation. It really does regulate your hormones. And we got to keep things safe around here. There we go. All right. And we're ready. All right. Now we are. There we go. All right. And my head's cutting off, so let me adjust this just one more time. The P2 program is my favorite. It really shakes things up a bunch. Okay. And this is automatically set at 10 minutes. This is my favorite. If I'm really needing my body to shake things up a bit, and if I'm having pain and I'm wanting to get relief somehow quick, or if I'm getting ready to go to bed and I'm really, really stiff, this is my go-to unit at my house. So this is the one that I keep upstairs in my home where everybody uses it. They have to walk by it. They almost have to trip over it when they're walking through the main hallway. And so it gets used quite a bit at our house. And this is my favorite for just if you don't have any underlying issues between your hips, your knees, and your ankles. This is really one of my favorite go-tos, because you can really get into that ski formation and push into the sides, which then drives energy up and down these sides. So it's just unique in how you can apply it. But a lot of people don't do well with having the angles. So if you have joint problems, or if you have foot ankle alignment challenges, that is a problem for a lot, and it will cause you more problems over time. So you want to go a little flatter or go with the Pro if that's your scenario. And yes, we're lighting it up. We are like jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. And you can go sideways standing on this, but you just don't have a lot of room to move. So I'm going to turn this sideways so you can actually see it in action sideways. And we are in moderate mode. I feel really tall on this. I look really tall on this right now for being a shorter individual. And we got to breathe. You got to remember to breathe. That's good stuff. Yes. So as I'm seeing some questions here, so for the 4D, would the best one if you have insulin resistance? It can be, yes. It depends on, do you have any other underlying challenges? Because with insulin resistance, any of the Rumblex platforms work well for you. It doesn't matter which one of the Rumblex, but the Rumblex provides the 3 motors of stimulation. So yes, it's going to provide you more support overall than if you just have the Waiver, the turbo, the single motor, or the double motor. And one of my favorite exercises to do on this is to go really, really wide and just drop into a squat and hang on. I like to hold on to the front, and I like to just let it move me while experiencing a super deep stretch. Feels really, really nice. And then I'll go into this forward fold position while maintaining contact so I can really stretch these leg muscles out and stretch out my low back. You know, and you don't have to be a certain size of individual. I've been doing this. I was 200 pounds when I started doing this years ago, and I did the same exercises I'm doing now. It's just easier now that I've had a couple of years of practice. So it doesn't have to, you don't have to be a rocket scientist in order to get on here and go. You just have to get on and at least try. But yes, things are really shaking up, shaking, shaking. Driving it out. Love it. Okay. So yes, I'm so happy to see you, Maureen. Thanks for jumping in. And we're going to go into the mode here on my hands and knees so you can see how this changes things just from the hands and knees. It does come with a couple of mats. It comes one that you can put underneath so that you can soften the energy between floors if you're on an upper floor in an apartment complex or condominium, or if you're upstairs in your home and you've got loved ones that are below you that don't, you know, not sure if you're having an earthquake at your house or not because you are into the moment with your platform. So you can soften the amount of energy that everybody else hears or feels in your home by stacking these mats or by getting a non-slip yoga mat and providing some extra insulation underneath of the platform. They provide a couple so that you can put one underneath and one on top. You can drop down, get into a plank. There's so many different ways that you can enjoy, like getting onto a sideways, getting into a rowing position, and just sitting here just like this feels really, really good on the back. And because my whole body for the most part is on it and I'm making contact with my body, now I'm actually generating all this energy from my knees and my fingers and my toes and everything else. I can go into a really deep stretch, knee to chest without having to lean all the way off the unit. And we can switch back and forth. So we can go into a rowing position to where we're having to hold here. Okay. There's so many different things we can do. We can put the hands back, toe touch, lift off, toe touch, lift off. And I'm still getting, if you've got sciatica, this is a great unit for sciatica. Like right now, because I'm on this curve, it's hitting my lumbar and my SI joint just right that it feels really good. And then my feet, this is just how I'm shaped at 5'5". My feet are in contact with the edge. So it's a good little massage on the bottom of my feet and on my SI joint while I'm relaxing with the rest of it. So we can come up and do more sit-up type exercises where you're having to actually stabilize. Okay, there we go. Because somehow or another we got disconnected. It could be, it's just one of those things that we have to deal with technology. So I'm very sorry if you didn't miss anything. We're back. We are back. Yes. Okay, so one of my favorite exercises to do is just in a sitting position, is just reaching forward and just allowing, because I have the angles here versus on the flat, because I have the angles here, I can actually enjoy this really deep stretch. So I'm going to adjust the camera angle and go through some stretches. And I'm super thankful that you all made it back since I lost connection, or one of us lost connection. We've got a whole backstage team that works remotely to help keep me on task and keeping our show vibrantly running on all these different platforms, because we run on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook all at the same time. And it takes a team to do that. So I'm beyond grateful for Lauren and our marketing team and our IT technology team that kind of keeps everything flowing very seamlessly, smoothly when everything cooperates. So if you've got back pain, if you've got tight sciatica, one of my favorite exercises is what I call 90-90 knees. And so you can lean back and we can rock and roll side to side to where we're actually feeling this in the glutes, okay? And you can get into so many different positions with that. I know Roseanne, she does a lot of the yoga stuff on, I believe, Tuesday and Thursday nights. Ooh, I'm tight on this side. Like I said, I taught some speed and agility work last night. We can get into bringing more of the feet together in like a butterfly type formation. Again, kind of what we call in sports medicine is different from what we call in yoga. So if I get my yoga poses wrong, that is definitely not my niche. That is totally Roseanne, and she is on it and she's amazing. So you'll have to tune in with her if you've got back pain or hip pain, or you're trying to get strong, or you're trying to work on abs. She's an absolute phenomenal resource for how to activate certain things via using yoga and meditation and working the different chakras. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Please show everyone the exercises you showed me for my rotator cuff prior to surgery and after, and for juvenile arthritis in my feet. Oh goodness, you're making me work today, Loretta. Okay, so when it comes to some of the rotator cuff exercises, we have the mini loop bands that come with, and because we're running out of time, I got about 5 minutes left. If you go to YouTube and look up shoulder pain, or look up Lifepro Amber shoulder, you'll find all of those exercises that Loretta is talking about. Loretta actually is one of my clients and has had the ability to come to my facility to actually work with me one-on-one. Super blessed to have met Loretta. And I work with some of her family members as well. And so she's had a chance to experience the Rumblex platforms for a couple of years now. But you can go to YouTube and find those different exercises. I got to keep the show running because I got about 5 minutes left before my kiddo gets home from the bus, and she's in elementary school. But I'm going to show you the Rumblex Max because it is the very last one on our list of things we have to cover today. And we so eloquently, however I meant to say that, I'm tongue-tied at this point, we have managed to get through so many of all these platforms that you're going to see as I walk across until we get to the Max, which is this beast right here. And the Max is kind of an animal for me. I love the Max. I use the Max with my football players, and I've got some individuals who are over 350 pounds. It is an excellent resource for them because it does have a max capacity of 550 pounds. So it is good for individuals who are needing a little bit more support and stability because of weight or because of lymphedema, and it has 16 preset programs. So you have a lot of opportunities with this unit, and it is a Rumblex. So it does have the 3 motors, which means that you're going to experience all the different types of stimulation from that unit. So if you are trying to lose weight, or if you are dealing with obesity, this is the one to do because it is most powerful from a seated position, So I actually would like to demonstrate this one from a seated position because this is the one that if I have clients who can't move around very well, it is the magic machine for them. It allows them to just put their feet on, push play, and then it does its thing. And so that's what we're gonna do. And so we got our power on again. We got preset 16 programs. I like to use the P16. It's the most aggressive. And for me, I'm not going to do a whole lot of anything upper body on this one, because upper body on this, unless I go into manual mode, is really intense for me. Okay, so we're in P16, and there we have it. It really lights things up. So you got to really force your feet to stay fixated on the surface, because it has so much power that you can actually feel your feet moving around on it a lot. So when it comes to individuals who have a really hard time getting up and getting down, I start them in a stool, and I just have them use their body to sit up and stand up, and then sit back down. And I'm going to adjust my camera just a little bit so that you all can see my head on this one a little bit more. And you can see how intense that is. Now, on a hard surface, it can be a little louder than what it is right now, because it has so much energy, it has so much power. So if you're wanting something that has a lot of power to shaking things up, this one, in my opinion, is the most aggressive. It is wider, but it's narrower side to side. I like the comfort of having a wider platform. And here we are, we're like really, really intense here. So just sitting here, this is really, really intense. It has to be intense for somebody who weighs 500 pounds. And like I said, it's really good for if you're wanting fat loss, if you're wanting to deal with neuropathy, if you're wanting to get really strong, if you're an athlete rehabilitating from injury, this is a really good one for those individuals because it's so intense. But if you're wanting to use it for the upper body, it can be a bit of a challenge unless you're in manual mode on speed 1. And in manual mode, I only do the lateral. I don't do the oscillating. It's just too much on the neck and the shoulders for me on using these motors. But it is a great, as a matter of fact, this one, I don't know if it's today, if this one is just 15% off today, but the other day it was half price. It was a heck of a deal. So I'm just going to be honest with you. You cannot go wrong with any of the Rumblex platforms at all. And to go on any further, like, you can't go wrong with any Lifepro platforms. Whether you need 1 or 2 or 5, I know you're thinking 5, right? If you're a business owner and you're wanting to use this in a physical therapy setting, or you're wanting to use this in an athletic training room in a high school in order to help with reactivation of muscles that have gone through deactivation through surgery, there's so many different things that these units will help with, whether you're using them at home post-surgery from whatever kind of surgery you're having. For me, I've had a couple of abdominal surgeries, not for the purpose of tummy tuck or anything like that, because I've never had anything like that done. But I've had a C-section, I've had a hysterectomy, I've had exploratory surgery. So I've got several abdominal scars. And anywhere that you have scars, you have more pain associated with those scars. So this unit, all the Lifepro platforms are real essential in breaking up scar tissue, because they do it just by being in contact with the unit. It truly is a magic machine. I'm not going to stand here and say that it's going to cure disease, but we have a lot of cases that have been reported to us: MS, Crohn's disease, fibromyalgia. There's all kinds of autoimmune diseases that have gone into remission that are completely asymptomatic. They have no symptoms whatsoever. Their symptoms have dissipated because of just using the platform in a non-strengthening capacity, just getting on the unit. So I'm not telling anybody by any means that it will cure your disease, but it has cured disease for others and has helped minimize the use of drugs outside of the use of the platform. They're able to minimize drug use or pharmaceutical use and are keeping it more natural. There are a lot of clinical studies that have been done from NASA as well as through the government, in which they're using it a lot with oncology patients. A lot of doctors, a lot of oncologists are using it post-surgery after removing lymph nodes to helping with fluid dynamics and lymphedema. So there's a lot of great benefits that you can use these residential rated platforms at a much cheaper alternative than a medical grade platform, which is going to cost in the form of 20 grand or more. You're going to get just as good benefits at home than having to go someplace and pay somebody to put you on one. So, and most of those devices are linear based. But all of these platforms, it doesn't matter which one you get. If you want one for travel, if you want one for home, if you want one for, using in different parts of your home, if you want one that's less intense upstairs so it's not as noisy to those who are below you, what have you. Whatever you decide to do is great. I like having a separate unit for upper body and having one for fat loss and having one for just chilling out and relaxing. So that being said, let me show you. Oh, you can hear the intensity of this one. It's like moving itself across. It's moving itself. That's how powerful it is. It's moving itself across my floor. That's how powerful it is. So I wasn't kidding when I said it's the most intense because it's got the 3 heavy duty motors. That can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. So just if you are really sore after you're on this, you might have to downgrade your programming in order for the intensity of the inflammation to dissipate. If you develop a rash or you start to itch, or if you feel really sore, it's normal. The machine has not injured you. It has just created your body to have to restructure, realign. And our body doesn't like change when it's stuck in a rut and it's stuck in its own compensatory pattern. So when we are needing to get out of pain and we're needing to feel better, our body requires change, and that's easier said than done. But these Lifepro vibration platforms provide instant change in some form or another, whether it's chemical, whether it's mental, emotional, it happens. So that is, now my calves are itching. So we got through the arms and now the calves are itching. And this feels really good because my calves, I had one of my coworkers working on me with massage earlier today because I just was not feeling all that great earlier today. And she attempted to work on my lower legs. It's like, nope, you're not doing that because I've got fibromyalgia and my lower body is really sensitive. So this is how I massage my lower body because I can't allow others to touch my lower body when it comes to the rehab side of things. So yeah, so there is the Rumblex Max. Okay, now we've been on here for 2 hours now. What setting on the Rumblex 40 for lymphedema release? It all depends on what you feel most comfortable with. So when it comes to lymphedema, less is better. If you're trying to mobilize stuff and you're trying to eliminate toxicity, less is always better when it comes to how your body responds. But that intensity setting for every person is a very personal thing. So I would start with a P1 or P3 and see how you do with that. Or you can start in manual mode with whichever motors you like the sensation of best and start on a speed of 1 and stay in that low level green zone as opposed to going into the red zone, and just see how you take it. If you start to feel cramping, there's an entire video on YouTube about the effects of the Rumblex on lymphatic cleansing and detox and lymphedema in general. And it talks about what symptoms you might feel or signs you might feel after the fact when your body is initiating the detox response, and kind of how to dial back when you need to if that becomes a problem. Yes, right now you get 15% off and you get the choice between the Oculax and the Legra hand massager. And so if you are wanting the Oculax, you have the choice of choosing that when you order any one of the Rumblex platforms. It doesn't matter which one. They are offering a Rumblex and they're offering the Oculax with either or, they're offering the Rumblex and either or the Oculax or the Legra. There we got it. So in addition to the 15% off. Now, if you happen to be watching this video further down the line after the holiday specials are over with and you're looking for a discount code for an extra discount off because you want to buy a unit and you're just using this video to learn the differences between all these vibration platforms, you can use my code, which is Amber10, and that will give you an extra 10% off the lowest price. They only run the 15% off and greater, which I don't know that they've ever run anything higher than 15% during specials, other than if they're running a half price special or 25% off special. It is very rare. But I will tell you, if you are outside of that 15% range and you're needing a discount code, you can always tag in Amber10, AMBER10, and see if that works. And if it does, awesome, you get an extra discount. And if not, then you're getting a heck of a deal because they typically reduce the pricing on this to what a lot of the competitors do. I will tell you that Lifepro's products are all backed with a limited lifetime warranty. So if one does not turn on, if you have any trouble with dysfunction and you're needing replacement or you're needing parts, you lose a remote, you need more resistance bands, what have you. They are incredibly amazing, which is one of the reasons why I continue to work for them. Their customer service is of highest priority and is of superb expectations. So if you are one who truly values customer service and you want to make sure that your investment, I don't like to think of this as a cost. If you want to protect your investment over the life that you choose to use it, then Lifepro is always going to back you with their limited lifetime warranty. And Joel and Abe are phenomenal. There's no other company that does that with the platforms or with the wellness tools for that matter. And then when it comes to all the different things that you can learn about Lifepro for free, they have video tutorials, and they've got all these different programs on Facebook and on YouTube. So you can go to YouTube and look up their channel, and there's hundreds of videos of how to use the different devices and what to look for. And I'm usually the center of a lot of them. So you can always reach out to me if you have questions, or, if you're lost. I have people that text me or email me all the time. And so I encourage you to reach out to myself or to Lifepro. Lifepro is, their support line is support@lifeprofitness.com, support@lifeprofitness.com. And if you need any questions specifically answered in the realm of fitness, sports medicine, or sports performance, you can reach out to me directly. And that is support@KKS Magic, MAGIK. It's support@KKSMagicMagik.com. Or you can text us. It's 317-446-7971. If you have direct questions and you can't get a hold of customer service and you have questions about how to use your device or the best programming or different accessories that you might see in some of the videos, don't hesitate to reach out, because we want to make sure that you're able to maximize the impact at home with the Lifepro devices and your overall wellness, because words talk and reputation travels. And so we definitely encourage you to share your joys with us on all of our social media platforms and letting us know what we can do to be a better service to all of you. That being said, I just heard my daughter's bus go by. So I am going to go spend some valuable quality time with my 11-year-old, because she is the light of my life. And I want to say thank you to all of you who have shared your time with me and have shared your time with Lifepro. We are beyond grateful for the opportunity to inspire and to motivate you to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And the new year is coming up, so be thinking about what big goals you're going to be trying to conquer for 2022, because it's a new, fresh start. And we always get a fresh start each and every day that we wake up. And so thank you for sharing your day with me today, because there's a lot of other things you can be doing, and I'm beyond grateful to be of service to you. So happy holidays. Thank you for watching, and happy vibration.